Mr. Blackburn, thank you very much for affording me the opportunity to speak with you just before the end of 2022. Sir, what exactly has been your work plan like for this year, and what have you achieved?
Okay, so we've been focused on delivering our customer promises, the most prominent of which is to reliably connect our customers here in Guyana, and we've made some notable progress in a number of respects. On our fixed network, we have rolled out fibre now to pass 110,000 homes in Guyana, which we estimate is about half of the homes here in Guyana. So now have fibre available to them. That means we've rolled out the fibre to pass another 30,000 homes this year in 2022. So that's an amazing achievement, testament to the GTT team who've been involved in that and made that happen. We've also launched new products. So we had GTT Fibre Plus Voice, or Fibre Voice Plus, for our home customers, and we improved all the speeds on those on that product. So now the basic speed that you get over our GTT fibre service is 100 megabits a second, 200 megabits a second, and 300 megabits a second download speeds. If you compare those to other countries nearby, then you'll find that these are very comparable indeed and great value. Our business customers have also had their fibre products enhanced. We launched a product in April called Connex, which consists of great value fibre, entry-level speeds now at 200 megabits a second, and a big bundle of voice minutes on those business plans that include calls to the United States and Canada. And we also recently enhanced that product. You can now get, if you're a business, you can now add our great value post-pay mobile plans to those plans and get 15% discount. We haven't forgotten about mobile. We've been working very hard on mobile to enhance our network following the award of some spectrum last year by the relevant government authorities. I can now report that LTE is working on 96% of our network. So massive strides forward by our mobile team to get the quality of our mobile data network up and running. And just recently, a few weeks ago, we launched new mobile social plans for our prepaid customers. And those are really great value, including lots of data, text, minutes, been really busy. And if that's not enough, we also have done some great things in MMG this year, which is our mobile money company, and a business. They've done doubled pretty much all the transaction count that they've had. Everybody's using it for bill pay, topping up their phone, and we've got some great new services. We've partnered with government authorities to bring Breeze, for example, which allows you to go across the bridge, the Demerara Bridge, with Harbour Bridge, without actually stopping. MMG, you just load your MMG wallet and you can use the service. We're partnering with Building Society now to take mortgage payments, Shell gas stations, so that you can pay for your fuel. Lots of supermarkets have come on board to let you accept payments. So MMG's going really, really well and making massive strides in all that it does.
Mr. Blackburn, you talked a bit about the success in the layout of your fiber network. In terms of the actual uptake by subscribers or by persons who would like to become subscribers to the fiber that you're running across various parts of the country, what has it been like?
Well, we're going into areas when we bring our fiber service to an area. We offer the opportunity for all of our customers, our broadband customers who are currently using DSL service, to switch to the fiber. We offer free installation, for example, to make that happen. And almost all of our DSL customers in those areas choose to switch to fibre. So that's the first thing, is for our existing customers, a significant speed increase upgrade for them. And then when we're bringing this great new flagship service to the areas, we're finding lots of other customers who are not currently using GTT for internet, and they're adopting us as well. We're not leaving our copper network customers behind, those who are using DSL and landline. And we've actually installed more landlines in the last year than any year in living memory. Several thousand landlines were installed. We've actually cleared up a backlog of landline installations that was there a year ago, and we don't have any lengthy wait time anymore to get a landline.
When you say landlines, you're also referring to fiber or copper only?
That's copper, yeah. Obviously, we're encouraging everybody to switch their old-fashioned copper landline to the fiber service when they join our fiber, because our plans allow you to do that. Our fiber voice plus plans, our fiber plus plans plus voice. You can keep your landline number and switch all your landline service onto the fiber. We're encouraging a lot of people to do that, and a lot of people are doing it. It's great value, and you get big allowances of minutes to use.
But from the inception, why aren't you encouraging or putting persons on the fiber rather than connecting them to the copper when they apply?
So obviously it's taking time to roll out to all the areas. If somebody applies for a copper service in an area where there's fiber, we speak to them and we give them the opportunity. We explain the benefits of fiber, and a lot of customers then join. But if they still just want, for example, a landline, some customers just want a landline, we're happy to do that.
What would you say has been your level of dollar investment this year in terms of rolling out your LTE network to other parts of the country, and also bringing on board other types of services, value-added services like the connects and so on?
This year we will have spent just about $40 million in investment in 2022 to do all that I've said. And
I know one of the things that you have focused a lot on, without saying much about your discussions with the regulatory authorities, is the allocation of spectrum, and you did allude to that earlier. But before the spectrum allocation, what was the percentage LTE coverage across Guyana?
Well, the full-scale rollout of our LTE network started after we were allocated the spectrum. When we allocated that, I think it was September 21. So we've gone from very little to possibly just some test sites to now 96%, yeah, in just over a year, yeah.
When you say very little, you mean like 10%, 15%?
Yeah, it's kind of a very small number. I can't remember the exact percentage we would have been testing, but yeah, we've gone now with once we were granted the 700 megahertz spectrum last September, we then moved quite fast last year to get. I think we got about 25% of the sites would have been live at the end of 21, and we've improved that to 96% through 22.
Mr. Blackburn, you're also offering GTT that is offering some value-added services, better roaming rates, and so on. What has been your relationship like with other telecoms companies in the Caribbean and North America to ensure that these rates become a reality?
Yes, we're working hard with all our roaming partners to make sure that we have good deals that underpin our. We're part of ATN Group, so we have the advantage of being able to negotiate roaming agreements, not just in the Caribbean but globally with with our group team who do that, and negotiate great deals for our customers. And we are continually reviewing roaming, the cost and the price of it. Some of our newly launched postpaid plans for business, there are plan options that include roaming to the United States and Canada. So this is just going to be a huge revolution once that kind of thing happens. Well, once that, sorry, yeah. Now that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so roaming, we expect, lots of people who roam regularly are going to have a completely changed experience.
Mr. Blackburn, in terms of business activity, we see a lot more Guyanese traveling to Panama to conduct business, particularly in the area of trade. Any plans to offer your roaming service in that country?
I don't know the specifics of Panama right now. We can get the answer to you on that one afterwards. And we do have partners there, but I don't know what the precise arrangements are and our pricing.
Going back to liberalization, for several decades, your company had been a monopoly in the area of voice and data. Then we saw various other types of competitors coming in through net cafes and also other ISPs. But now that the telecom sector has been liberalized officially through the laws and regulations, how has this helped your company to operate in a competitive environment?
Well, as I've said many times before, in most activities that we do, long prior to liberalization, we faced competition. So access to the internet, there's been competition for that for quite a long time with, as you say, ISPs, wireless broadband, internet options, which were competing with our, primarily in those days with our DSL broadband service, and our Blaze service as it was then, our Blaze fiber service. On mobile's been a fully liberal market for all of living memory, I would suggest, yeah, right back to the early 2000s, and there's healthy competition in that market space, and fixed voice to actually invest and put up a fixed voice or landline network is an extremely expensive undertaking, or was an extremely expensive undertaking in the days that those investments were made to build those copper networks. So I do accept that there was some level of us only being the only choice to get a landline. However, I would argue that competition was definitely alive and well for making calls, because you could, of course, choose to call from your mobile phone, and you could choose to call on lots of methods over the internet, and lots of methods, over your mobile phone as well, right? On WhatsApp, for example. And so that is, to me, was always competition that was there. Liberalization or no liberalization, there was very strong competition for the customer's dollar and way of doing it across the whole spectrum of telecommunications. That's the first point. The second point, of course, is the market did change in 2020. It was there was change to the law by the government that meant there was slightly different licensing and regulatory regime. We were issued a new license in GTT, and the framework by which we were regulated and how competitor companies could apply for services changed. In terms of how it's impacted us, as I say, competition was there before. We were always consciously aware of it. We make smart business choices based on what we believe our customers want and need, and we've continued to do that, and also driven by what we need to do as a company to keep outpacing the competition, and nothing's really changed in that regard. We've carried on doing that. We think it's Guyana's time, and we've been investing since 2020 significant sums of money, as we described earlier, into our network to make it 21st century, a 21st century fiber to the premises network, as good as anything that you would get in any of the countries surrounding us, or indeed further away. So we're very proud of the fact that we've done that. We think that it's very important for the country to invest in that fiber network, invest in those mobile networks to keep pace and in a lot of cases get ahead of lots of countries now. We have our fiber rolled out to a bigger percentage of households here than in the United Kingdom and the United States.
Mr. Blackburn, what would you say sets your company apart, that's GT&T, from the other competitors? We see Digicel bringing in their fiber. There is also fiber coming through e-networks, and also there are other providers who are also trying to get into the business. What sets GT&T apart from your other competitors?
Firstly, availability. We are by far and away, GTT's fiber service is by far and away the most available service in Guyana. If you think fiber, you think GTT fiber in Guyana. Then the next thing is we're very proud about the reliability of that fiber service. We've worked very hard over the last 18 months to make our network more resilient, make sure that as much as we can mitigate against some of the power issues that we experience, and also make sure that as much as we can on the key transmission links, we have contingency plans and redundant routes. I think we have a quality, resilient service that marks us out in the home and in the business. Second to none. On the mobile side, it's been a year for us of improving our network, improving all of the systems that support our network, and the culmination of that was a few weeks ago. We were able to launch our new social plans, and they are a revolution in the value that mobile customers can get here in Guyana. That will be a first step of many that we will make to compete in the mobile space for everybody's hard-earned money every week. And it's kind of watch this space really with mobile. We are ready to go now. We've got that network foundation there.
How is GT&T rebalancing its revenue base, its rates, now that you've got all these other competition coming in through the over the top services, primarily WhatsApp, Zoom, and also other types of over the top services? How are you rebalancing your revenue to ensure you remain viable?
Well, on mobile, for example, the plans that we've just launched include the data that you need for the internet over your mobile phone. So you need data in order to operate most of the over-the-top services that you mentioned, like WhatsApp. You need a data connection, and they include voice and text. So in some ways, there's an example on our new product positioning on mobile, our new plan positioning, that we really are a bit ambivalent to which way our customers use the service. We're providing them with the opportunity with great value plans to choose the way they want to use the service. It's up to them. If their preference is to use WhatsApp rather than calling, we're okay with that.
And what's your plan for the unserved areas? There are some areas that are certainly so small in population density that one may say it's a little challenging to put in a lot of costly infrastructure to serve small population centers. What's the plan there, nevertheless, to ensure that your service reaches those areas to a satisfactory level?
Well, the first thing I want to say is we have very much been focused on getting fiber to as many homes as possible. We've said publicly, and I repeat again, by 2024, we will have the GTT flagship fiber service available to 75% of homes, and a bigger percentage than that of businesses in Guyana. That's a huge commitment. These are commitments that go beyond, for example, the big operators' commitments in other developed world countries. We are determined that as many Guyanese homes and businesses as possible have access to what is the highways of the 21st century. In terms of then the other communities that it's a little bit more challenging to get, and not just challenging economically to get fibre to, but challenging physically, because you need roads to places to, and you need power, and you need telegraph poles and things like that. Of course, there are now great wireless broadband solutions, and we will be also, you will see us do some great things soon in a couple of areas in the country around wireless broadband, great quality product for those areas where we can't get the fibre to economically or because of physical challenges. So I see the next couple of years will be great for customers like that in relation to GTT services. But we have, and I don't make any apologies for this, we have prioritized huge amounts of investment dollars in getting as many people as possible onto fibre first.
And Mr. Blackburn, your plans for the oil and gas sector, I know that this is one of the growth areas, the growth centers in the Guyanese economy. How are you capitalizing on that?
Well, we are the premier telecommunications provider to all the actors in the oil and gas sector. We play a prominent role working with those companies through the Guyana Oil and Gas Energy Chamber, and we're proud of our association with the education program that we've run there to ensure that school children all around Guyana have had the opportunity at a certain age to learn about the opportunities that the new oil and gas led economy is providing to them at the young age they are. And we're very proud of the work that we do with the oil and gas sector. They have unique and demands, and they demand a world-class service, and they've really ensured, I suppose, or demanded from us that we raise our game to meet their requirements, and we are the provider of choice in that sector. And we really, we're really happy about what we've done so far, but we don't rest on our laurels. They're demanding new things from us, and we will continue to evolve to meet their needs in that booming part of the economy.
Are you serving those offshore platforms as well, or just onshore?
I can't go into specifics of what we do and don't do, but you can rest assured that wherever the oil and gas industry needs our services, we provide it.
Mr. Blackburn, finally, when you arrived in Guyana a couple of years ago, you had placed a lot of emphasis on improving customer service. Earlier, you indicated that you have made great inroads in installing landlines. Have you made any inroads in your customer service aspect of GT&T?
Absolutely, and here are my proof points. If you ring our call center, you generally get through according to our great team who are there, according to world-class answering statistics. 80% of our calls are answered in 30 seconds. We have industry-leading call abandon rates. There are times when we get busy from time to time, as every telecoms network is. Maybe there's some day when the power's gone off and everybody scrambles to call us to find out what's happening. We have those days. But apart from those days now, we have great customer service in terms of the ability to call us. Over 75% of our customers now receive their bills via WhatsApp or email. That was an absolute revolution. Most of them are receiving them via WhatsApp. And the positive feedback we have around that and how much it changes people's monthly routine to be able to get it in that customer friendly way is unbelievable. You can pay you can pay in nearly 1,000 agents now, MMG agents. You can pay your bill, whereas before MMG got going, with all those agents, you could only pay in a dozen places. So that's widened how you can interact with us. We've got our repairs, as well as the backlog of landlines disappearing because of great efforts by our Guyanese engineering team. We also have got our repaired. Typically, it takes 2 or 3 days now to get a repair on any of our services. Occasionally, there's exceptions to that. I'm not saying it's 100% of the time, but the teams have done an amazing job to get themselves reorganized in the way they're working, so that we can proudly say, if you have a fault, you call into us, you will typically get a repair done in 2 to 3 days. These are all proof points that we've pivoted GTT to become a 21st century customer-centric organization, which was the mission that we set for the first 18 months of my reign here. And I just pay testament to the GTT team who rallied to the call, and really, really have made it happen, despite all the challenges we had of COVID and things like that. So it's been an amazing revolution that's happened to get us to this very stable place from a customer care and customer experience perspective. I'm not saying that we're perfect yet by any means. We do still have pockets and issues to resolve from time to time, and we work very hard to do it. And I'd just like to thank the customers for the patience when we're doing that. We're getting a lot better at communicating when we have issues that impact on people, and I'd like to thank them for their patience. But I can promise all of our customers we have completed phase 1 of what we wanted to do. We're now moving on to some of the more difficult things we need to tackle next, and it's a continual journey here to create a world-class environment from a customer experience perspective.
Mr. Blackburn, in addition to taking advantage of your wrap-up comments, to say anything else I have not asked you about, quickly, a snapshot of what we can expect for next year as well.
So next year we will be accelerating our pace of fibre rollout. Believe it or not, we will be going to even more places than we went this year. We've just launched in Berbice. We've done some stuff in Berbice earlier in the year, but we've launched in a major way in Berbice. Berbice, it's your turn. You've not just have you had the GTT mobile network upgraded to LTE, but you are now going to experience an absolute revolution with GTT fibre. I'd really like to thank people there for their patience. I went to speak to the Upper Quarantine Chamber of Commerce at the beginning of this year and promised them that this would happen, and you will see now my promises become reality in Berbice. We're not forgetting lots of other areas in Guyana. We will be going to lots of areas other than Berbice this year, but I just wanted to call that area out in particular.
Mr. Blackburn, thank you very much for chatting with News Talk Radio Guyana and Demerara Waves Online News about your achievements and challenges for 2022 and look ahead into 2023. Have a great Christmas.
Thanks, Denis, and Merry Christmas to you and all the team there at Demerara Waves.
Thank you very much. Bye now.